Hey tattoo lovers, today I want to talk to you about something I've been getting a question a lot about, is white tattoos. There's a lot of misinformation out there, so I'm just going to clear a lot of it up right now. So let's talk about what white is actually typically used for. It is used for accenting things, making your picture look shiny, on bubbles, or making metal look shiny, the glisten in an eye, things like that. It also lightens whatever it's on top of. So if we need to brighten a certain area, we can do that most certainly. And of course, the results of your white tattoo are going to depend on the thickness of our ink and of course technique. So I'm going to be showing you some pictures about what can happen when you get a white tattoo, and we're going to go over the pros and cons. So let's take a look. Alright, let's get into this. A lot of times white tattoos will fade to look like a scar. And in this person's unfortunate case, it looks a little bit more like stretch marks than anything. You can see where the light hits it. It's just not very flattering, unless you like that look, but most people don't. They can also turn out to look like this. It's a little bit more pink than her actual skin, and it's raised, and it's just not very attractive. This is something that can happen with a lot of pale skin. Over here we have a beautiful design, but depending on the thickness of your ink and the skill of your artist, you get holidays in there. So you can see right in here, it's not fully filled in, it's not very pretty. You can see, because white is so thin, you can see the damage to the skin underneath. If this was black, you wouldn't be able to see any of that. Anytime you tattoo, you cause scar tissue, and unfortunately white just shows that. And then something else that can happen with any tattoo, you can get major scarring. White is just naturally going to show it a little bit more. This person, it's hard to tell if this was the fault of the artist or just the use of white ink, but this is something else that can happen. Alright, now let's get to the pros of white tattoos. Something positive is if you have dark skin, it can be very, very beautiful. We love to have contrast in tattooing, so dark skin with white ink can be really neat. White, like any tattoo, will fade, yes, but on darker skin, it's a little bit more graceful. Otherwise, if you have very pale skin, it can turn out to look pretty beautiful if you're wanting a nicely shaped scar. If that's, how you end up healing up. But it's very rare for the white to stay really white, especially on light skin. And then something else that's kind of cool is white ink can glow under black light. So that's also a neat little thing if you don't want to get actual black light ink. So there's some positive things about it. It can be gorgeous, but chances are, if you're pale especially, you're not going to get such a beautiful thing. So those are some pros and cons of white tattoos. They can be very beautiful. Chances are they're not going to stay super white. It just doesn't work that way typically. And if you are going to go out in the sun with it, you must wear sunscreen. What's going to happen is it will fade to kind of a gross yellow-brown. Sometimes it can even turn a little bit gray-green. And it's just from exposure to the sun. So that's something to consider if you're willing to wear sunscreen always. Or, over time it can just kind of turn that shade. So, the risks are there. At least you will be well informed if you are considering getting a white tattoo. Otherwise, it might be best to stick with the darker colors. I would suggest that, unless you're real brave. Another cool look that some people do with white is if they have a blackout area where it's completely black ink and they go over it with white in a specific design, and it will lighten that black and make it look gray. And if you go over it enough times, it can look pretty darn light, and you basically carve out a design, which is pretty neat. But of course, you're creating a lot of scar tissue. Anyway, it might be beautiful. Might be great if you're willing to take care of it the way you need to, and of course it is applied to your skin correctly. So, those are your chances. Best of luck to you. Any questions, you can always shoot me a message or leave comments. Have a great day.